Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video because I have for you a very exciting Chanel fine jewelry unboxing, and I will share with you how I got this for $800 off. It's a very simple hack, but it's something that you might be able to apply in your situation. The reason I gave myself to justify this purchase, in addition to the $800 off, is that this is a very classic piece of jewelry that I will be able to dress up or down. I am in the thick of prepping and packing for a month-long trip. We leave next month as soon as the kids get out of school. We're traveling to the Philippines and Japan. So I'm trying to pack somewhat of a capsule wardrobe with versatile pieces that can mix and match with each other and transition from spring to summer weather, which is why I am such a huge fan of Quince, and they are today's video sponsor. Quince makes high quality and sustainably made luxury products at affordable prices. They use premium materials like 100% organic cotton, cashmere, linen, and leather. This sweater that I'm wearing today is their lightweight cotton cashmere dolman sleeve sweater. But don't let the word sweater fool you. It is already very hot here in Atlanta, but the weather goes up and down. It is in the 80s today, but then it can drop down to the 50s. So I love that I can wear this lightweight, very breathable sweater and layer it with different pieces. I can also pair it with different bottoms depending on the activities for the day. I love this sweater so much, and I already know that it's perfect for different types of weather. This color is the shade Sugar Stone, which is a very pretty blush pink, and I picked it up in another color, Heather Oatmeal, which is more of a neutral beige. So I picked up a few new pieces from Quince for my trip, but before I show you the rest of my wardrobe, I have to show you this luggage I got from Quince. This is the Quince front pocket carry-on suitcase, and I actually got this last year. I've already used this on an international trip to Canada, and so this will be my first overseas trip, but I have been eyeing this for a while. I've been wanting this style of carry-on luggage. These zippers are super smooth, and I love that it has this very convenient front pocket that pops out. It has an elastic pocket for my laptop, and then it has other zip pockets on the other side to organize your travel essentials. Whenever I'm traveling, I always bring my laptop with me, but I rarely ever use it on the flight itself. So I love that I can just unzip the front pocket. My laptop can slip right out, go through security, and then when I'm done, I can just stick it back in here so that I'm not carrying a heavy laptop in my personal item. It just stays in my wheeled carry-on. It has a built-in TSA approved lock at the top, and inside on one side of the clamshell luggage, you have a fully zip enclosure. On the other side, you have a compression panel, and it also comes with a removable dirty laundry bag. But my favorite part about the suitcase, these are made with Japanese Hinomoto wheels. And if you're familiar with luggage, Hinomoto wheels are like the Rolls-Royce of luggage wheels. They are super smooth, they glide effortlessly. The last thing you want that will ruin a vacation is a set of janky, stuck, or broken wheels. These are the best wheels you can look for if you're looking for a quality suitcase. I've also been enjoying this bag from Quince. This is the Italian leather hand-woven satchel. I got it in black because I got this earlier in the year when it was still very cold out in the spring. But I'm already eyeing it in another color. By the way, everything I talk about will be linked in the description below. But I love this in black. The leather is so soft and supple, and it smells so good. And I love that it gives you that woven luxury designer handbag, but at a fraction of the price. This is super versatile because it can be carried a few different ways. You have the top handle right here that can be worn just as a hand carry or like under the crook of your arm. And then you have these shoulder straps that can be worn as a regular shoulder strap, or if you drop one side down, this can be worn as a crossbody, which is perfect for me because I usually prefer a top handle or just a regular shoulder bag. But then when I am running around after my kids or my dogs, I can quickly convert it to a crossbody bag. Inside, you have a very large compartment. This panel here that is movable. And so at first I thought, I was like, oh, okay, it's a 2-compartment divided bag. But if you just want one big open compartment, you can actually just slide this back, and then you have one large compartment in there. This divider panel has a slip pocket and then a zip pocket if you need to secure your items. It is very large, but because it has this magnetic closure at the top, it's still very compact under your arm. It doesn't take up a lot of space unless you need it to. And let's say you have a ton of stuff, like I'm carrying all my kids' water bottles or something, then this can easily expand. This is just such a great versatile bag, and I love the quality. I love that it's 100% leather, and I love the woven leather material so much that I got another bag in the same material. This is the Italian leather hand-woven tote, and this is in the color taupe, which is a beautiful color for the spring and summer. I love that the top of this is a little different from the satchel. It has kind of like a scalloped edge at the top. Inside, you just have a very large tote with magnetic closure. You have a zip pocket on one side and then 2 slip pockets on the other side. This is a perfect travel tote for me because when I travel abroad and I am shopping, usually when you travel to any kind of a market where there's individual sellers, they don't always have their own shopping bags, and it's kind of anticipated that you would bring your own. And so when I go shopping, I can always just throw everything in this huge tote, and it's still very compact and can fit under my arm when I need it to, or it can expand and fit a ton more if I needed to. Otherwise, when it's empty, it's very thin, so it can pack very compactly in your check bag. Here are some of the Quince pieces I plan on bringing with me on my trip. I'm trying to do kind of a lighter color palette because it is the summer. I will be in a tropical climate, but I love that I can mix and match all the pieces, and they can kind of all go together and, you know, layer easily. So we have the top that I had on earlier in the Sugar Stone Blush Pink. The same top I also got in Heather Oatmeal. And I love the sleeves, it's very flattering. And then we have a closet essential. This is the scoop neck white tee. If you purchase 3 of these, you get to choose the colors and you get a slight discount when you buy 3. So I have it in white, black, and navy. And again, these are perfect for layering. So we have the other layering tops. I have this white button down short sleeve because again, it's very tropical. This can be worn on its own, just buttoned up, or you can layer it over one of these tops. Same thing with this very lightweight blue. It's almost like a denim, but it's very light and it's very easy to layer. So again, this can be worn on its own or layered with one of the other tops. And I love these linen sets. I have this long sleeve linen set. This is the color Flax. I have the matching high-waisted linen shorts and also the same high-waisted pants in the same color Flax. Then another staple are these black linen shorts. These are a little shorter than these. These are high-waisted and they're also a little longer. I also love this midi length skirt because it can be easily dressed up or down. It's a very comfortable, breathable material. And this is a really nice scoop neck tank top style dress in this really easy to travel with jersey material. I got this in brown. It's so breathable, and this one also has pockets. This dress you might have seen me wear last year. I attended a YouTube event and I wore this. It was super comfortable. I like that it has an adjustable neckline, so if you want to have more coverage at the chest, it kind of pins it up right up there. Otherwise, you can make it a little lower. It has these tortoiseshell buttons that run all the way down, and it really cinches you in at the waist with this extra tie. I love this dress so much that I got it in another color, olive, also perfect for the summer. So I really like this one. Maybe for fall, this would be great to transition with different accessories. And then I think this olive color looks great for the summer. And now for the Chanel fine jewelry unboxing that will match every single one of the items I just showed you. This is the second piece of fine jewelry I purchased from Chanel. The first was this Coco Crush ring. I got this back in 2022. This is in beige gold. And then I just really haven't been checking for Chanel jewelry. It really wasn't on my radar at all until I traveled for spring break. It was just me and my son, like a mother-son trip. And during that spring break trip, my son and I were doing a little bit of shopping. We also were prepping for this, upcoming month-long trip. And I stumbled into Nordstrom. And it was one of the Nordstrom that had a Chanel inside. So even though I went in with the intention of checking out the new Chanel 25 bag, that's the new design, it's got pockets, very cool, sold out everywhere, they didn't have it. But out of the corner of my eye, a piece of something shiny glittered in the counter, and I had to make my way over, and I wasn't gonna even try it on, and then I did. But let me just go ahead and show you what I got. So if you're not familiar with Chanel fine jewelry, by the way, check out my other video. If I can find it, I'll link it below. But the Chanel fine jewelry is packaged differently from Chanel leather goods, which are in black with the white camellia, and also different from Chanel Beauty, which is white with the black border that says Chanel Beauty in black. These are just plain white, and then it has a little lion in the front. I don't know if you can see it, if it's popping up, but it's got a little lion there. I have a very lovely handwritten note from my Chanel client advisor, and here it is, just the plain ribbon and a very heavy duty box. It reveals a smaller white inner box, and I'll just show you on the bottom here a certificate of authenticity with a little ribbon for it to pop out. Here it is. It has a pillow to protect it inside. It says Chanel right up there, and then you have a pillow to protect it. I got the Chanel Coco Crush bracelet in the mini size in yellow gold. I'll pull this out. This is also wrapped up in a little pillow, and here it is. You have the scalloped edging, similar to, I'm sure there's some kind of a story, but it's the same quilting that Chanel is famous for. And I'll show you what it looks like compared to my ring. So you can see it's very similar shades. It's not like super yellow, and the beige gold isn't very rosy. So my ring is the beige gold Coco Crush ring. For reference, I have this in a size 49, which is equivalent to about a size 4.5 or 4.75, or you know, right under a 5, I think. But yeah, they call it beige gold because they really don't have a rose gold. It's just, it really is so similar to the yellow gold. I mean, if you see it next to each other, it's so similar. This one looks maybe a little more brown. But yeah, they don't really have a rose gold. It has a little tint of like a pinky brown. But anyway, the star of the show is the bracelet. So here's the bracelet. When the Chanel Coco Crush jewelry collection came out, I got the ring, but the bracelet, it was a little too chunky, a little too thick for my preference. And so I guess they just recently came out with the mini Coco Crush bracelet. And as soon as I tried it on, I just had to do it. I had it stacked when I was trying it on with my like Juste un Clou, and I think my Cartier Clash and my Bulgari Serpenti bracelet. But I love how simple and classic this is. And you can see the design around the edges. It has that very pretty like scalloped detail. But what is very unique about this is the way it closes. And you can see this side has the hinge. And what I love about this is that the way this opens and closes is this hinge part twists this way, and then it opens up like that. So it's very secure, and it won't pop on or off. So it's very secure, almost like the Cartier Love bracelet, but without needing a screwdriver, because you can just pop it on and off yourself and kind of like twist by yourself. You don't really need someone else to help you. Sometimes with the Love bracelet, the Cartier Love bracelet, it's a little difficult for me if I'm alone, but also you really need the screwdriver to open and close it. And I'm the type of person that I always take my jewelry off as soon as I get home, so I don't like to have my jewelry on all the time. I will just always take my jewelry off as soon as I get in the house. So I love that this has just the very simple closure. It is just a simple twist, and it's nice and secure. That's what it looks like on my right wrist by itself, very simple. So this definitely, because it's very thin, this is the mini version. I believe they make the small and medium, and maybe they just come out with a larger size. I'm actually not familiar with Chanel jewelry. I just really like this design, but it's very thin, and I would normally stack this with other pieces. Again, very easy to take on and off. You just twist that part and then it just pops off. So I'll stack it here with my new Cartier Baignoire watch. And that's it with the watch. Very pretty. As soon as this arrived, I sent a picture to my client advisor, and she was like, oh my gosh, I have to share this with our fine jewelry specialist. Look how pretty you have. It's like 2 pieces of artwork. I just love that classic design. Very simple and classic and elegant, and this can be worn with pretty much any outfits. And then if you can see up close, it says Chanel on the hinge. This is the part that twists, so that when you twist it, it will have the markings on the inside. And then just for some specs, so this is the Coco Crush bracelet in the mini size. I got it in the size small. I believe it comes in small, medium, large. This retails for $4,850. And also for reference, my ring, this is the beige Coco Crush ring, I guess also in the small size in terms of like the width. This retails now for $1,650, but I got this back in 2022 when it retailed for $1,350. So it's gone up $300 since then in the 3 years, which actually isn't too bad. $100 per year, that's not too bad compared to Chanel like leather goods or Louis Vuitton pricing, which their prices have just are astronomical these days. This is 18 karat gold in the quilted motif. Then again, the Coco Crush bracelet in the mini size retails currently for $4,850. But Cindy, how did you save $800? You may be asking. Well, I will tell you. When we left for this trip, I flew Delta, and it was just me and my son. We really had very flexible travel plans, travel arrangements. We didn't have like an appointment to get to on either end. And so when I checked into the flight and we went to the gate agents were asking for volunteers to take a later flight for a voucher credit. The initial offer was $200 to volunteer to take a later flight. No one volunteered, including myself. Then it went up to $300 for the next flight. Once again, no one volunteered. Then when it got to $400, they were still looking for volunteers. And by then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Because between my son and myself, between the two of us, that's $400 each. So a total of $800 that we would receive as a gift card just to take a later flight, like a couple hours later, which wasn't a big deal. We didn't have any set plans. And so I was like, yes, once I got to 400, I volunteered both of us to just sit at the gate a little longer and take the next flight out. We already had guaranteed seats. It was totally fine. They emailed the voucher right away. It was like a Delta travel voucher. I forget what they call it. But then once you get that voucher and the redemption code, you can redeem it for any gift card you want. So they always recommend I believe it's the Visa gift card, because then that can be used to buy anything. In the past, actually, I have used it just to get a Nordstrom gift card. So I use a similar travel shopping hack. A few years ago, I traveled to Phoenix visiting a friend, and I was by myself. It was a solo trip, but they immediately were starting the credit of, I believe it was like $600 or it was either $600 or $700 to take a later flight. And again, since I'm flying solo, it really wasn't a big deal. Like, it wasn't a big deal. I didn't have any set plans. I was just visiting friends. And so when it got up to $800, then I volunteered. They immediately sent me the $800 gift card, or the $800 Delta code. And I redeemed it for Nordstrom gift cards, because that was when I was in the middle of purchasing a Chanel 19 bag, which was probably my most used Chanel bag. So I did a whole unboxing video, but that was how I saved $800 off my Chanel bag. And similarly, that is how I saved $800 off the Chanel bracelet. So because this was at the Chanel located within Nordstrom, you can either redeem it for a Nordstrom gift card or a Visa gift card. So that's my advice, as much as you can. If you're on vacation and you have some flexibility on either end, I would definitely recommend always volunteering to take a later flight and getting that gift card. It's basically like cash. It's not like a Delta or airline credit. It's an actual gift card that you can use and buy things like you would cash or any other credit card. So if you're flying Delta specifically, don't at check-in on the kiosk volunteer a certain amount. Just wait until you're at the gate, and then they'll make an announcement, or you can even check in with a gate agent to see if they're like taking volunteers, and then like add yourself to the list and then get that cash, okay? Always my tip. So try to be flexible with your flights, because it will pay off. Because my other trip, it paid for a big chunk of my Chanel 19 bag. With this trip, it paid for this beautiful Chanel Coco Crush bracelet. And in other cases, it pays for the entire trip itself. So that is how I saved $800 off of this beautiful Chanel bracelet. I cannot wait to bring this with me on my trip, along with all of the other Quince pieces. These are some of the new pieces I plan on bringing with me for my trip, so that I can have a beautiful capsule travel wardrobe. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Quince travel haul and my Chanel fine jewelry unboxing, and how I saved $800 off of Chanel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.